What is going on, everybody? It is Alex coming back at you with another video, and today we are going to be doing a mock the mock on Mel Kiper's brand new NFL mock draft as of 4 hours ago. So if you guys do love this type of content, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the community. I originally was supposed to get 4K by draft day, but we've blown that out of the water by a big margin, boosted it to 4250, blew that one out of the water. We're already past that. So thank you guys so much for making that attainable. Let's say screw it, 4,500. Let's go for it. Thank you guys for making it possible and always believing in me. Let's have some fun. Let's kick into this. And of course, leave your comments down in the comments section below because I love to talk to you guys. A lot of you guys also point out things where sometimes I forget. And that is awesome because I want to make good content for you guys. I also don't like to say stuff that's not exactly true because that kind of sucks for me as well as you. So yeah, feel free to continue giving good criticism back there. Tell me what I did right, what I did wrong, because you guys are super fans and I like to learn from you. Without further ado, we are going to be rocking right into this mock draft for the number one pick being Aiden Hutchinson. I dig it. Honestly, you know, at this point, Jacksonville's kind of solidified their offensive line. I wish it was more like Ikem Ekwonu, or you could go like, I didn't really want the franchise tag on Cam Robinson. I would have went Evan Neal maybe at that number one pick, but they decided to go that route. They're still going to get a phenomenal player in Aiden Hutchinson. Totally reshaped his entire body this year. Had, I think, 74 pressures on the year as well. Absolutely dominant. Just showed out why he should be the number one overall pick. I believe he came back from a season-ending injury as well. And that just shows the type of tenacity you have to reshape your body, reshape your mind, and come back 100% confident and kick ass the way he did. Should have won the Heisman, in my opinion. But hell, that's one great player. And Jacksonville is kind of in need of just continuing to bolster their roster with really damn good talent. Aiden Hutchinson's a pretty damn good way to start it off. Detroit Lions going Kyle Hamilton. This number two pick absolutely perplexes me every time because I have no idea what to do with it. Like, I think KT would be the guy who I would go with. But at the same time, Dan Campbell doesn't like guys who take plays off. KT has been proven time and time again to not put 100% effort into every play. I have my reasons for that on my mocks. So if you guys like to see mock drafts, posted one yesterday, actually posted two. And my worst luck ever, I posted Deshaun Watson trade, right? Actually, I posted a pre-one. And then he gets traded an hour later. Then I posted post Deshaun Watson trade. Matt Ryan gets traded. Then I do a Matt Ryan mock draft. Then I had the Falcons trade up to 32 to get Sam Howell. They get Marcus Mariota. Like, kill me, right? Honestly, I swear to God. But regardless, I still think that this would be a phenomenal move. If the Detroit Lions can deal and scheme Kyle Hamilton to not be in a situation where he can get torched, again, 4.56 40 is not the best. It would probably be not too shabby a pick. He is one of the best players at his position. I personally do not value safety that highly, and I know the NFL has a proven track record of pretty low wins above replacement, low WAR for safeties. So I think Kyle Hamilton had to test in those 4.4s for me to be able to be like, okay, his athletic profile and his mental profile are able to surpass that low positional value. It sucks. It sucks to say that because I really wanted him to be that unicorn of the draft. There's another DB who I think is, but we'll talk about him in a minute. I have not seen this as a live reaction as well, but I think Kyle Hamilton to the Detroit Lions at number 2 seems like a thing that might happen. I just can't really fully support it, but at the same time, Kyle Hamilton is almost a surefire thing in the NFL. Texas going Ike Ekwonu. I still think that going offensive line is not a bad move whatsoever. You know, the Houston Texans can surely continue to bolster their offensive line. There's ideas, or there's like word floating around that there's Laramie Tunsil potentially being traded, but at the same time, those have kind of died out because they think they're restructuring his contract. You usually restructure guys who you're going to keep longer term, which I think if Laramie Tunsil can stay in shape, he's an all-star. I think that's a big win. So good for him. But at the same time, I don't feel 100% confident in the right tackle position with Titus Howard. People say he's playing well, but at the same time, you're going to have to pay him eventually, right? So I think that Ike Ekwonu is definitely a really good option because you can use him at guard in the short run as well. Again, I like Evan Neal, but at the same time, when you look at the upside of Ike Ekwonu, not too shabby. Let's go at number 4 with the New York Jets. And so people shit on me all the time for going Drake London at 10 to the Jets. I think it's a phenomenal option. Can use him in the slot, can use him on the boundary. And he is really good after the catch. I think he's a solid separator. Maybe not with speed, but he could definitely separate with body control, body positioning, as well as just pretty solid route running in general. I think he's phenomenal. I don't think he ever goes this high. Like, it just doesn't make much sense for the Jets to do that. Again, I think that there's more of a threat for corners to go within the next few picks rather than wide receiver. And you are placed in a good spot where you might not get your number one wide receiver, but even if you're stuck with Garrett Wilson, who's my number one, I think you're getting a big dub right there. I think that's a big W. So Drake London is a phenomenal prospect. I love him to death. He's my clear wide receiver too, but I'll just say it's a bit of an overspend. And I know you guys will agree with that. That's a bit of a reach. Number 5, the Giants getting Evan Neal would be an absolute dream. Panthers getting Travon Walker. They did just lose out on Hassan Reddick, so there is an edge position open. Travon Walker would be a really good guy to get. At the same time, I'm praying to God that they go after Baker Mayfield. The guy actually was one of the best quarterbacks for the Browns in history. You know, he's had 4 head coaches in the 4 years he's played, and he honestly he made a playoff push. Granted, the roster was phenomenal, but at least give him a shot. Use this pick to actually boost the rest of your franchise. Unless Malik Willis is here, which then it's Baker Mayfield or Malik Willis. And I mean, you could say it's Baker Mayfield and somebody else and Malik Willis. It's a tough one because you owe Baker Mayfield $19 million, then you're going to combine both of them to have a $38 million contract with 2 fifth-year quarterbacks. But again, I still think he's worth it. If Baker Mayfield or Jimmy G are taken here, Travon Walker would not be a bad choice. I would still look for potentially offensive line. I do know that they did go out and try to get a veteran tackle, but you know, I still think Travon Walker could be that dude. Next, we have KT going to the New York Giants. Actually, as a matter of fact, I just said that Travon Walker was better. No, KT would have been way better. I totally forgot that KT's on the board because he never is in my mocks. KT should be going before, but regardless, KT or Travon Walker would be excellent at this pick. You know, again, you got your offensive line, get your defensive line as well. Wink Martindale is going to have a ball with I was about to say Azeez Ojulari with KT or Travon Walker. He's been very good at developing edge talent, as we saw last year with Odafe Owe. Number 8, we got the Atlanta Falcons going Garrett Wilson. Do that myself. I dig it. Seahawks getting Charles Cross. I don't mind that. I don't. I like it. 10, the New York Jets going Ahmad Sauce Gardner. So my 2 picks go to the Jets just in the opposite order. I think it's more likely that Sauce gets taken before Drake London, though. So I love him I just love him with a passion. Number 11, the Commanders get Derek Stingley Jr. You got the Liz Frank injury. That's why he's fallen. But I mean, at the same time, I'm looking at Derek Stingley, and I mean, I didn't see what everybody else saw as like a super elite defender, but he's still my corner too. And that is a graded corner too. And I think that there's a number 1 with Sauce, and then there's Stingley and Kyra Elam who are in that next tier. And then there's a pretty big drop off in my opinion. And that's just me. I still need to do a third eval on Trent McDuffie because everybody's saying how great he is. I just don't see it. Regardless, I'm trying to understand why Derek Stingley would be the right move for this franchise. Like, it's tough for me to really say that going a corner in round 1 is going to be the best thing for the team. At the same time, it is possibly best player available, so it might be a good move. Number 12, the Vikings going Trent McDuffie. Again, I don't think that he's all that, but yeah, I mean, I think they have 1 usable cornerback on roster right now, and that's not good. So I think getting a corner is not bad. And I don't really think Trent McDuffie fits what the Vikings should be going after, but still, corner is a position that I would target. I would still look at Jordan Davis, though. I don't care about Harrison Phillips. You get a unicorn with Jordan Davis, you get your version of Aaron Donald. Sign me up for that. Houston Texans going Jordan Davis here. It does make sense. You know, now that the Texans have Ike Ekwonu and Jordan Davis, 2 absolute freaks at their position, you know, that's a good way to continue building your roster because you know it's not going to be phenomenal year 1, or like it's not going to be phenomenal this year. So continuing to rebuild your franchise, going through the defensive and offensive lines, having trouble here is probably the best thing that you can do. Jordan Davis is a phenomenal talent. I think that he would be an excellent addition to the Texans, somebody who could just totally ravage that line of scrimmage. I think he has a lot of pass rushing upside, and the people who hate on him are just being completely arrogant when they're saying he can't play 3 downs because they didn't even like look at the way he recomped his entire physique for the combine. So, I mean, you even heard about Chris Olave talking about, oh yeah, I got in way better shape because I wasn't eating McDonald's every day. I'm pretty sure Jordan Davis was probably in that same boat, right? So you could definitely see it in his physique at the pro day, or not the pro day, at the combine. He was absolutely dominant, and I mean, I think that that's what it takes to go and be a number 1 star in the NFL. Baltimore Ravens going Tyler Linderbaum. So yeah, Bradley Bozeman did just go, and I forgot actually where he went to. So that's something I got to do some research on. I think Tyler Linderbaum would be a pretty damn good option at this point. David Ojabo, one of my favorite, sends to Baltimore. He got an Achilles tear, so not really going to be a great option. I love Tyler Linderbaum. I don't know if he actually like fits the scheme, right? But he's such a good player. I have him as a top 5 dude in this class. Eagles going Jermaine Johnson. I love it. I love it. Even with Hassan Reddick there and Josh Sweat, I love it. Also going Chris Olave. So this is my big issue with a lot of people who do these mocks. Again, I have a lot of respect for Mel. Got a lot of respect for Todd, even Field and stuff. I just don't get the reasoning behind going after somebody who's very similar to another receiver on the roster. Like separators, yeah, you can definitely get them. They're all really good. But this is an almost identical profile to Jalen Hurts. You need 2 press corners, and these guys are knocked out of the game. You play a very good press defense, and you're not able to pass for shit. You need somebody who has some strength, has some grit. And I know they just brought Zach Pascal in from the Colts, but I don't really think that that is exactly what you're looking for. So going after Chris Olave, unless you have a plan down the line to get a bigger wide receiver, whether that's Alec Pierce later on, I mean, hell, Justin Ross, I just don't really get it. I don't. And it's similar to the Jameson Williams thing. It's like you already have Quez Watkins there. You don't need to double up on a position when you need somebody who's going to be probably more well-rounded overall. And yeah, Chris Olave is another really skinny dude who's a really good route runner. I'm just not a big fan of that. Chargers going Trevor Penning. Been doing that myself quite a bit. Actually, they traded up in the most recent mock to get a much better tackle. So keep your eyes out for that one if you guys are intrigued. Saints going Kenny Pickett here. I mean, they just brought back Jabu. I think Jabu is 10,000 times better than Kenny Pickett. I really don't think that there's going to be I don't know if there's going to be more than 1 quarterback in the first round. And I'm very happy to say that. I just don't really think that there's that many good quarterbacks. So, yeah, I don't really think that Kenny Pickett's going to be in there for James Winston. But to be fair, I don't think Mel wrote this up last night, even though it was released earlier. I still think, I mean, look at this. Kenny Pickett they were like, oh, his hand size boosted by 1/8 of an inch. Are you kidding me? This dude has been working on his thumb stretches so he can measure out. Like, are you serious? Like, that's the biggest joke I've ever heard. Like, I'm sorry. He has smaller hands than I do. Okay. Like I can throw an NFL ball. I have bigger hands than this dude. It's not like, okay, his double jointed thumb makes it easier to throw. Get off my ass, homie. I know that it might be a little bit better, but damn, I'm sorry. He doesn't really offer anything special. If I'm not mistaken, he's pretty damn old too. He's a redshirt senior, and which means he might be 23, 24 coming into the league. He's not Joe Burrow. Like, I don't understand why people are just salivating over this dude. Have Sam Howell be in college for 2 more years and see what he can develop into. I'm sure he'll probably be sure as hell better than Kenny Pickett. So that's just me on Kenny Pickett. I could be totally wrong. I say his ceiling is Derek Carr, which is a very good ceiling, but the chances of reaching that ceiling are not great. And that's just usually true of prospects. You don't always reach your ceiling, and the ceiling's not very high. Now, Philadelphia Eagles, Devin Lloyd out of Utah. I think that this might be the year that my freaking face cam glitches, but this might be the year that Devin Lloyd, or the linebacker, is taken to Philadelphia in the first round. We've seen it not happen for how many years? It's been 1979. So quick math here. What's like something like 40, it's like 42, 43 years since they've actually drafted a linebacker in the first. This might be the first. So Devin Lloyd's a very solid 4.66. Everybody who complains about that, I know my boy Richard down in the comment section below is going to. That's not bad. Like it's not going to be like it says Devin White level. I mean, 4.66 is comparable. You're not in that 4.7 territory. And again, Devin Lloyd's speed, I didn't even have him very highly ranked. Like I didn't have to adjust his speed after the combine. The guy is honestly a very solid linebacker. And you're getting somebody who's just going to be very consistent day in, day out. I feel similar to like maybe a lower ceiling Eric Kendricks. And that's all you really need in Philly. That is. Devin Lloyd's going to be a phenomenal option for the team. I would say it might be a sneaky move to go after Leo Chanel, though. The Steelers going Malik Willis. He's just not going to fall there. He's not. I mean, you could say he could because of what happened to Justin Fields, but Justin Fields was also in a mix with a bunch of guys who are better than anybody else in this class. New England Patriots going Jameson Williams. I'd love that. I would. You're giving a deep threat option there, and I think that would be a very good option for Mac Jones to be able to target. Number 22, Packers going Kenyon Green. He just ran a 4.24 or not 4. Wow, can you imagine? 5.24 at his pro day. I mean, he's not going to be going this high. It's not. I mean, I love Kenyon Green. I thought he was a tackle. I mean, when you can't run at all, it's just not good. It's not. The whole entire Texas A&M program is like slow as hell. I don't know. These boys at Texas A&M need to go to that trainer for Georgia because I swear to God, like that guy needs to be unemployed. Like I can run faster than Kenyon Green pretty easily. And I'm like, that's not good. You're an NFL athlete, dude. And you need to make sure that you can play like every single down. And right now you can't even run a freaking 40-yard dash. There's a good chance he falls out of day one. Pretty good chance. The Arizona Cardinals going Devontae Wyatt. I could definitely see it. Interior defensive line is a pretty big position of need for the team. And Devontae Wyatt is an excellent talent. These are like, I don't have Devontae Wyatt as high as I did Christian Barmore last year, but Christian Barmore fell because of personality concerns. And that I got that from insiders in the NFL. They just said that, yeah, he was proven to be a little bit uncoachable. Christian Barmore has been a beast, by the way. So kiss my ass, right? Like I love Christian Barmore. I love him more than Devontae Wyatt, but Devontae Wyatt still is a stud. Dallas Cowboys going Tyler Smith. For all y'all who kept shitting on me for Tyler Smith to the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, the guy is phenomenal. I think he's going to be a guard this short term. He's going to move the tackle in the long run. He needs to work on his form, but damn, this dude is insane. And he's always around Dallas when he goes like SMU and stuff down to Houston in the AAC. They have seen him a lot. Tyler Smith is a monster. And I don't get what's up with the hate on this pick, man. It's just because I don't think people know who Tyler Smith is, and especially Dallas Cowboys fans. And that's okay because Tulsa's not a big school for offensive linemen, but this dude is special. And I'm pretty happy to say I was in on him early. I was in on him in like November or early December. Like before I ever heard his name, I was like, you know what? Let me watch this guy. He's a beast. I love him. Buffalo Bills, Jahan Dotson. I dig it until they brought in Jameson Crowder, but again, I still dig it. I love Jahan. He's my wide receiver 3 by a pretty good margin as well. You know, he's a stud. I love Jahan. Number 26, the Titans going Zion Johnson makes total sense. He also has tackle versatility because he played there for a lot of his career. Zion just totally makes sense for this team that got rid of Saffold. So yeah, thumbs up from me. Tampa Bay Buccaneers going Breece Hall. Unfortunately, yeah, here we go. Yeah, he said he's not going to change it. I think that's because it would probably take a lot of time to change the last picks of the draft. But yeah, Breece Hall is not going to be the first round pick. Leonard Fournette, 3 years, $21 million. They committed to him as a number 1 back. So there you go. Packers going Treylon Burks. That would be an absolute steal at this point. What was the Packers pick earlier? I'm bugging. It was a Kenyon Green. Can you imagine Aaron Rodgers like, you know what? My first pick, you got Treylon Burks and Jahan Dotson on the board. I'm going to go Kenyon Green's fat ass, and I'm going to have him stick on my line. That just doesn't make sense to me because you can literally get Zion Johnson here. Like you could. Actually, no, you can't. JK. But you could still get in some solid interior guys at this point, which probably even Kenyon Green would be here at this pick. But yeah, Treylon Burks would be pretty phenomenal for this roster, giving a good guy for Aaron to throw it up to. Miami Dolphins going to Kobe Dean. I do that myself. I'm glad to see Mel is not kicking him out of the first round because he knows a lot more than some of these people who are saying that NFL scouts are saying he's a third rounder. Like, I know that my boy Marcus Whitman, that franchise guy, has him as like an early third, but at the same time, doesn't mean he'll go early third. I have him as a pretty much like a top 15, top 20 player. Number 30, the Chiefs go George Karlaftis. I love it. Huge fan of that pick. Bengals going Travis Jones. Oh, so my biggest issue with Travis Jones was that I felt like he kind of got similar to Jordan Davis, got gassed a lot during his play, but he obviously improved that. He looked a lot more athletic at the Senior Bowl as well at the Combine. So he's definitely up there. And I know interior defensive line, because you guys lost Larry Ogunjobi, who literally failed his, I mean, the guy was just about to get the payday and then he fails his physical. So great. But this is a good spot for him, man. I love Travis Jones. And if there's a place for him to sneak into the first, this is probably the pick to do it. I would still consider maybe Perrion Winfrey above him. But I mean, Travis Jones is a stud, man. I can't complain about that. Matt Corral going to the Lions at the end. Don't really see it. I don't. And again, Matt was my high school quarterback, and like I love Matt to death. It's just I don't really see him being that guy who warrants that fifth year. He is a year older than he's a redshirt junior. And I think that if you want to take a shot on a QB, or I think you should probably trade this pick, but I'm pretty sure there's no trades in this. If you wanted to get a QB, you go after Sam Howell, bigger arm, bigger frame, less injury prone, much better on the run, in my opinion, because he adds a little bit of power to him. And like, again, you also can sit him for a year, so you don't have to worry about the processing issue, because Matt also has one too. And Matt has a tendency to throw a lot of picks in a row. A bit unfortunate, but I do love Matt, and he's a phenomenal player, just not going to be cracking my first round. But that is going to be the video, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys on the far side. Peace.